As I said in my Black Ops 6 Zombies gameplay trailer reaction, I don't make reaction videos that often, but this is one of those situations where, you know, these Call of Duty trailers, they really only happen once a year. We get one for, like, the campaign, the multiplayer, and the zombies, so I figured that we'd go ahead and make a reaction to the multiplayer trailer. We already did one for zombies, we'll do it for multiplayer. And plus, the way that I look at it, it's a fun little time capsule, so then a couple years down the line, when we're feeling nostalgic for Black Ops 6, then we can come back and, you know, rewatch these videos just to kind of be like, alright, what was it like going into the launch of this game? What was the reaction like? Just, you know, reliving the moment. But anyway, enough blabbering. Let's just get into the trailer, get into the reaction. You already got me with the VHS tape. Oh my gosh! The classic Activision logo right there. Love it. Sorry, the mouse cursor's in the way. Trying to get that off screen. I'm just trying to analyze it, see what's going on. Oh, that was so clean. Okay, AK-47 confirmed. Chopper gunner confirmed. Ooh, his weapon. Okay, Gunsmith's already looking wacky. That's the Wonderwaff sound effect. What in the world? See, normally it takes them at least like a season or two to start bringing wacky stuff into the game, but it seems like at launch we're already gonna have some of that wacky stuff. I'm not saying that's a bad thing, I'm just like an observation. Oh, shooting the RCXD out of midair. That's clean. 16 all new maps. Which that's kind of true, kind of not. 12 of them are 6v6, 4 of them are like bigger ground war type maps. Okay, yeah, there's the classic Prestige. Is that the Prestige Master emblem? Oh my gosh. Now, I'm curious, how are they going to do it? Is it going to be like 10 prestiges, 15? Depends on the game. They've done it multiple ways. Oh, man.
Pre-order
so
the Vault
cool.
Edition and get the Hunters vs. Hunted Operator Pack, the Mastercraft Weapon Collection, the Season 1 Black Cell Bundle, and more.
Okay, so hold on. Actually, I want to go through this again. So, here's the thing. This trailer was awesome and all. It was action-packed. There was a lot happening. The only issue is that they've told us, I don't want to say too much about the game, but they've told us so much to where, yes, this trailer was exciting, but I don't really feel like I learned anything new. Again, like, I love when they go crazy with the marketing for the game, when they're transparent with the community, and I love the fact that we, like, knew some of these things in advance, like the Prestige Master, for example, which I'm trying to find out where that emblem was. Yeah, it's like right here we got the Prestige Master emblem, and again, it's like one of those things where it's like, you know, I'm glad that we knew about things like this in advance, but I feel like we've known so much about this game. I feel like I've already played the game, even though I haven't played the game. You know what I mean? Like, and that doesn't have anything to do with the leaks that have been coming out, because if you guys don't know, I don't pay attention to leaks or rumors. Like, I'm aware of when certain things do get rumored or leaked, just because, you know, part of me being a content creator online, of course, I kind of see thumbnails and titles from time to time, but I never actively engage or seek with that stuff just because I always like to go into games 100% blind. I hate leaks and rumors. I feel like they're really bad for the industry in general, but the conversation for another day. Anyway, yeah, then they have this here, 16 all new maps. Again, only 12 of those are actually 6v6, which means those are the main ones we'll be playing on and covering. We'll still play, like, the bigger maps, of course, but, you know, just for most people, most of the time you'll only be interacting with 12 of those maps, but still 12 brand new 6v6 maps. There's been some games in the past that have only launched with, like, you know, less than 10, so that's good right there, having at least 12 brand new 6v6 maps. And otherwise, I mean, we'll kind of go through this again, and we'll just kind of, you know, keep the volume relatively low this time. And I guess we'll put the speed on, like, what do we want to say, 0.75, just to kind of slow things down a little bit, just to see if there's anything else that we catch. It is also worth noting that I did not see Nuketown in here. Now, we did see during one of the events or videos that they did that Nuketown will be in the game, because they did a little hover over one of the developer's shoulders, and on the computer screen, you could see Nuketown sitting there. Okay, so there's the Wheelson. I guess that's going to be one of the rocket launchers in the game that the guy was holding right there. Not exactly sure what the proper name for that would be. Looks like we got like a cool map right here that takes place sort of inside of like a gas station type area. So if you guys remember that one map from Call of Duty Ghosts where in the trailer they shot out the gas station pumps and the whole ceiling fell down, this is just what that made me think of immediately. But okay, Freedom Fried Chicken. Okay, so maybe this is more or less not just like one individual building, but it will be like well, what do you want to call that? Like an outlet of sorts where you have like a fast food restaurant and then like a gas station of sorts. And then I thought this was really cool how you could technically use Omni movement to like dodge past, you know, tomahawks and throwing knives or whatever. That's pretty rad. And then this is a mechanic that I believe they already told us about before, but basically like the whole human shield thing where I guess you can use dead operators on the field as human shields, and I suppose that'll make you take like what, maybe 50% of the damage you normally would. Maybe it only knocks off like 25%, but still, hey, look at that. You got Weaver in the back right there with the eye patch. I just noticed that. But then, like I was saying before, like, I'm not saying it's a bad thing when Call of Duty gets wacky or crazy. It was just an observation of like, hey, normally it takes them until like season 2 or 3 before they really start ramping up the crazy, wacky, outlandish, not realistic stuff. Usually they try to keep it kind of gritty at launch, but it seems like they're going to be giving us some of that stuff right off the rip, which I'm not complaining. You know, some people get real butthurt about that. They're like, oh, Call of Duty's supposed to be realistic, but dude, they've been doing crazy stuff since, I mean, since as long as Call of Duty has existed, you know. In fact, if I'm gonna be honest, I actually really enjoy a lot of that wacky stuff. I enjoy running around as like a gingerbread man in Advanced Warfare. I understand, you know, what some people are trying to say, but at the same time, for the people that say that, they just kind of lack an understanding of Call of Duty, because it's always been wacky, crazy, and hasn't, like, sure, it looks realistic on the surface, but once you play it, it's clearly just trying to be more of an arcadey, fun, laid-back experience. And furthermore, it's a video game, so, you know, there's no rules. A video game can be whatever it wants to be. If you want sheer realism, then, I don't know, put on some shoes and go outside. I also thought this bit was interesting here. So this weapon was like making the same sound as the Wunderwaffe, so I'm not exactly sure what this is about. It looks like it's shooting out either explosives or some kind of like poisonous gas or both, so that looks interesting. I guess there's going to be some sort of experimental weapons. In Modern Warfare 3, obviously, we had the aftermarket parts, which are sort of like the innovative, you know, just kind of like twist on the classic formula of just, you know, putting attachments on weapons and such, and instead go let you modify weapons to essentially make them entirely new. Like, one of my favorite examples being the Lockwood Mark II in MW3, how that was a weapon from MW2, but then they gave us the aftermarket part that essentially turned it into the Model 1887 Akimbos, and I'm assuming there's going to be some wacky stuff like that in this game, maybe taking it to a whole other level with different kinds of attachments or aesthetics and such. And one thing I actually wanted to get to real quick before I go on anymore is at the very end, they show off some of the weapons that you get here for pre-ordering the Vault Edition of the game, and actually, now that I'm looking at it, all of these were the quote-unquote wacky weapons I was looking at. So the weapon that was shooting out the poisonous explosive whatevers, that's the AMES-85. The sniper that was looking a little wacky, that's the LR 7.62. Okay, so yeah, never mind. The stuff in the trailer that I thought was in-game features was actually just them kind of promoting pre-ordering the Vault Edition of the game. Yeah, so here's the sniper I was talking about, and I take it that skin that the person is wearing is probably part of the Vault Edition too. Basically, anything that looks grounded and realistic comes with the base game, and anything that looks like wacky and out of this world, that's probably stuff that just comes with the Vault Edition. Again, we already saw the chopper gunner. There's swimming, of course. Looks like we're gonna have a baseball bat at launch, which is pretty cool, because in most games we usually only have like, what, like a knife or two, maybe something else a little experimental, but usually it's pretty basic. And then as the seasons go on, they'll add some of the more fun, quirky, wacky, you know, like melee weapons and such. But right off the rip, we're gonna have a baseball bat, and this animation looked really cool where he hits him with the base of it, spins it around his back, and then whacks him in the face. Really sick execution right there. Got more of the Omni movement and just how that can work as he's doing it with the Akimbo pistols. That looks really sick. Got an RCXD rolling by. M16 confirmed right here. Not sure what it's going to be called in this game, because obviously in recent years Call of Duty has stepped away from calling guns what they're supposed to be called and calling them just other random things. I always just found it to be a little weird. It's led to a lot of continuity issues to where like a weapon can be called something in Modern Warfare 2019, but then by the time we got to MW2 it was called like something entirely different that obviously isn't what it's normally supposed to be called. I guess it's like a licensing thing. I guess maybe they just don't want to pay for the licensing of the names of the guns, or maybe it's for a longevity thing because, you know, we see it in like racing games all the time where after a couple of years, those games have to be delisted due to having like licensed car names in the game. So maybe that's something they're trying to avoid, where they wouldn't have to delist the games over time because of licenses expiring for the names of the guns. But even then, I mean, that's never really been an issue. So I don't know. That's beyond me. Probably just like a cost saving effort, I suppose. Then, of course, them showing off more of the Omni movement. This guy's using an AK-47, so we know that'll be in the game. If those clips are supposed to be one, then I'm assuming that that's some sort of contact grenade, so that'll be their launch. After they say 16 all-new maps, they show off a couple of them. So we have this first one here, which is like outdoorsy, looks to be kind of foresty, and then we have this one, looks to be like some sort of military facility, some sort of tank facility. Maybe we got a couple of military jets, some tanks outside, and yeah, this seems to be part of the same thing. And then we cut to this one right here, which is all snowy. Kind of gives me some like derail vibes. So yeah, that looks pretty cool. This looks to be different. Yeah, I was gonna say, because this one looked a little overgrown like one of the other maps, but this one seems to be different as well. We got like a radar tower in the back. Got a cruise missile coming down, and I believe this is on the same map that we were just looking at. This map might be different. See, some of these maps, I'm not saying that they all look the same, but, you know, there's, like, similar elements to where there's, like, overgrown, like, foresty stuff, just because I guess they've been abandoned for a little while. You know, they're all destroyed, but I'm thinking these are all, like, different maps are showing off. And then here with the gunsmith, we're going to go ahead and put this down to 0.25 speed. So we have a base M16 here, and every time that it switches weapons, we're going to pause to look at it. So we got an M16, which is then modified to have some sort of Tate mag, you know, because you have two different kinds of mags. You have normal fast mags, which are just, you know, quicker to reload, and then you have the Tate mags, which every other reload is going to be faster, but then every other reload is also going to be slower. You have some sort of I believe in the Modern Warfare games that would be called an like an aim op 4 reflex, something similar to that. Pretty standard like Merc or pineapple looking grip right there. Now this is going pretty fast, so it's kind of hard to actually pause on everything. Okay, so the mag right there looks normal. There's some really cool details on the guns. Like you got like the duct tape right there. Also, you know, noob tube on the weapon and a standard reflex sight. Everything else about it seems to be relatively standard. Right here we have some sort of modified barrel with a bipod. This looks to be, you know, a holographic sight of some kind, and I'm assuming that is an extended mag because it obviously looks wider than a standard mag. We won't necessarily go through every single attachment on here, but I'm just trying to see if anything sticks out. More modified barrels. This probably is an integrated suppressor barrel of some kind. Same thing, integrated barrel here with a hybrid sight up here and more Tate mags and a bipod. This one has what I call the Mansack mag. And if I'm looking at this correctly, all of these have been for the M16, so similar to, you know, the gunsmiths from previous games. Sorry, I totally knocked the camera out of focus. There's going to be a lot of ways to modify each and every single weapon to make them wholly unique. Again, this looks like to another variant of the M16. Except, oh, okay, I was getting confused before. I thought that this was a bipod, but this is actually just the stand that the weapon is on. So this right here would be the foregrip, and this isn't a bipod. I'm sorry, that was a mistake on my end. The suppressor on the weapon. Still looking to be the same thing. Okay, now it finally changed over. This looks to be like a modified version of the AK-47 with an enormous mag. Another modification of the AK with an extended mag of some kind. This seems to be a completely different weapon. The AK-74U confirmed. Lovely. I've said this before. The AK-74U is easily one of my favorite weapons in Call of Duty history. This looks to be like a smaller mag, probably like a 20-round mag on that with a large suppressor on it. That is the MP5. It looks like we got a variant of the XM4. This right here, it used to be called the Commando in Black Ops 1, but then they changed the name again that's a really short mag and a really short barrel. So yeah, again, the gunsmith is as in depth as ever. This is a sniper. This is a shotgun. That is an LMG. That's one of the Mastercraft variants that you get for pre-ordering the Vault Edition of the game. And then they showed off the classic Prestige stuff, and from here, I guess we can kind of just speed the trailer back up to normal. One thing worth noting that I noticed is that this sort of reminds me of the Swarm kill streak from Black Ops 2, if I'm looking at it correctly, where you have all the things literally like swarming in, exploding. We saw another thing with the human shield there. And then from there, yeah, it's just like a basic sweep through the map. We saw Wheelson there, which was already shown off earlier in the trailer. There was a thing there of some guy getting electrocuted, so I'm assuming that that's like a shock charge of some kind. Hopefully it isn't as annoying as it was on like Black Ops 4, for example, where it's like, you know, one of those field upgrades you can use, because, oh man, if you play Black Ops 4, you already know what I mean. But as long as that's just like a normal shock charge and whatever, and otherwise, yeah, everything else, there's like some red smoke there, so that's obviously going to be for like a kill package. And then when you come in here, yeah, you know, you get to look at all the different skins. A few of them were obviously from the Vault Edition of the game, so Yeah, I will say this this pack does look pretty cool. This skin's really rad. I mean, all these skins are really rad, honestly. Like, I'm really digging the look of it, and it's really cool how all of them have, like, the black and orange, the black and orange, the black and orange, just kind of, you know, tying into the whole Black Ops theme. Obviously, this one's more, like, black and red with the eyes, and some of the blue going with the shock electricity, but, you know, it's like the Warden, so, you know, obviously, that one's just gonna be a different color scheme. Ever since they announced it, I thought it was really cool how they were kind of, like, paying homage to Klaus from Black Ops Cold War with, like, Mount Toad and everything like that, because that was one of those characters where he came in and he was all, like, immediately a fan favorite, so that was pretty cool. And then, yeah, you get all the other stuff with the Vault Edition, and that's basically it for the trailer. I tried to break it down the best that I could. Obviously, the game releases October 25th, and if you pre-ordered the game, the open beta will be starting, well, early access to the open beta and all that will be starting August 30th, and, yeah, otherwise, again, I try to break down everything the best that I could, try to show off everything, but we already know so much about the game just because, you know, between the different events that they've held, as well as Call of Duty Next coming up here in a couple of days, it's one of those situations where by the time the game comes out, we're basically going to know everything about the game that we never need to know outside of just playing the game itself. On one hand, that's pretty cool because that just means it'll be a streamlined experience on launch day and we'll kind of know most of what we're doing and what we're getting into. Obviously, there will still be surprises to be found and had and, you know, experiencing the maps yourselves and actually playing the game, going through the gameplay loop and progressing is a whole different experience. But, you know, I do kind of wish that they chill out with telling us so much just so then we can still at least have some surprises to look forward to. Again, I might be entirely wrong about that, and there might be, you know, even more surprises up their sleeves. And there may be some, like, radical gameplay altering changes that they made that they're, you know, not saying anything about just yet. But otherwise, yeah, I do kind of wish that maybe they just chill out with telling us everything. I'd like to be surprised about at least a few things yet, but again, we got Call of Duty Next coming up tomorrow from the time that this video is going up, so we'll learn even more there about just everything in the game, campaign, multiplayer, zombies, which is really exciting. And then 2 days after that, on Friday, the beta will be going live, and I'll have my first beta video up by this weekend on Saturday, and I'm really excited for that. We're going to be pumping out content non-stop, obviously, for the Black Ops 6 beta, as well as Black Ops 6 in general when the game releases. So you can look forward to that, and yeah, I'm really excited for Black Ops 6 if it wasn't obvious enough, and I'm sure many of you are as well. It's going to be a great year for Call of Duty. But anyway, as always, massive shout out to all the Patreons and channel members taking all the low ball team, and shout out to the big ball team, asking me and invasion on DT run events on the cheese go. Thank you guys so much, guys. Literal Legends, I love you. Thank you guys for watching. An amazing day, stay beautiful. I love you all. Peace.